welcome back to all of my beautiful friends and subscribers. I am so thrilled to have you guys back with me for another pick a card. And of course, I want to welcome everyone who's new here. If you're not familiar with my channel, my name is Odessa. I'm the Mystic Intuitive Healer, and I deliver messages through the cards that help you to awaken, heal, align, and grow. So in today's reading, I'm going to be looking into your destiny. I'm going to be filling you in on who you're destined to become and what you're destined to accomplish. So I have 3 piles for you guys to select from. Pile number 1 is partnered with the white candle with the natural cord bow. And then we've got the dried sage here. Pile number 2 is partnered with the hawk feather and the Palo Santo bundle with the dried Queen Anne's lace. And then pile number 3 is partnered with the jar of seashells and this piece of heat treated citrine. So this is naturally amethyst, and then it's treated and it turns this beautiful yellow color. So I'm gonna give you guys a moment to select your pile. I'll give you a close-up of the items in the cards in just a moment, and I will see you at your pile. Hi, pile number 1, welcome back. So you picked the white candle and the sage. And before we get into your reading, I just want to mention I'm running a contest right now. You can win a free reading with me. All you have to do to enter is subscribe to the channel, comment on this reading, and then when I reach the milestone of 6,000 subscribers, I will announce the winner on my community tab. So in today's reading, I am going into the future to tell you who you're destined to be and what you're destined to accomplish. I also want to give you more details about this journey. So I'm going to fill you in on who's going to be helping you along the way, but I also want you to know who's going to be opposing you. Then I'll be filling you in on the things that you might need to release or let go of while you're accomplishing this task, and I'll also fill you in on what you're going to be gaining from this journey. So let's get into these cards and see who you're destined to be to start with. So you have the 6 of coins, followed by the 9 of wands, true love, card number 4, discovery, card number 8, playing it safe, card number 6, and throne, position of authority. Kyanite, channeling, dreaming, high vibration. And the back of the card says Aries, Leo, Pisces, Taurus. So you may have strong placements that are connected to those particular astrology signs. It also says kyanite, specifically in green, can deepen the connection with the heart and see the truths of life. It can help envision the motive behind the actions of others. It facilitates in meditation to connect the heart to the upper chakras. Then you also receive Moldavite, clarity, awareness, renewal. Moldavite is connected to all astrology signs. Moldavite was formed roughly 20 million years ago when meteors crashed to the Earth's surface. It carries the energy of ancestral journeys and dimensional awareness. It expands our consciousness and embraces our spiritual journey's growth. Beautiful. Then the North Node, future. And it's card number 34, so that reduces down to the number 7. And we've got Spirit Fox, trust your talents in changing times. And final card, Ishtar, communion. Card number 24, that would reduce down to the number 6. Wow, okay, so there is a lot to unpack here. First of all, we've got the throne card. So your destiny is to be a leader, 100%. There is a strong energy that's coming forward that is talking about being able to literally see into the future. You may have strong spiritual gifts. There were priestesses that could see into the future that were connected to Ishtar in ancient Mesopotamia. So that's where the communion energy is coming forward. Moldavite, also very high vibrational crystal. It can be very intense because it definitely will start pulling off all of the band-aids. If you start working with Moldavite, you will end up having to face all of the things that are holding you back from being your most high vibrational self. And some people find it too intense. Sometimes it is better to just sort of start off with some crystals that sort of ease you into things. Like moldavite is not for the faint of heart. And there are even people that have had very strange spiritual experiences that is connected back to this dimensional awareness that actually really freaks them out. So you may be somewhere on that spectrum, right? You might just have sort of a sixth sense about what's going to be taking place in the future, or you may literally know. You are definitely psychic in that case. Now, with the North Node, this is also talking about where you want to be in the future. You know, it's where your soul is calling you to go, because that is what you came into this life to achieve. You're starting with your South Node, that is your past life experience, and you're working towards your North Node. Now, I'm strongly getting this sense that you are an innovator. You're a great problem solver. You are able to look at things from an entirely different perspective, and you are going to bring that to the world. That's part of why you're going to be in this position of leadership. But it might be a situation where you have to sort of recognize that within yourself. You are possibly someone who has had conflicts or tension with people, possibly because they thought you were too dreamy. You were thinking about things in an impractical way, and they couldn't understand where you were coming from. Maybe you're neurodivergent. Maybe you just grew up in a family or in a community that was very conservative, and you're thinking about the future. You're unique, you're different, and you don't feel like you fit in. And you're not meant to fit in. Leaders don't fit in, they lead. So you have to get comfortable with that. And you're also going to have to get comfortable with standing your ground after the battle, right? The Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior. So it means that you step into a position of leadership because you've been there, you've done that, you have awareness and clarity, not just because you may have strong intuition, but because you have literally been on the battlefield. And I think that this is really going to start to develop over the next couple of years. I think many of you have gone through really intense spiritual awakenings. It might have been a situation where you're just living your regular life, and then say, you know, COVID 2020 comes and it's like, boom, a bomb went off in your life and everything is different, right? Trust your talents in changing times. And you are like, unsure about how you're going to move forward. There might be this pull between your mundane life, right? Like the traditional, the regular, the things that we are all sort of participating in because it fits into the old system. And then moving towards the future. And I think that there's also an energy here where you are going to really start to love yourself, right? It's not just changes that are taking place that you're going to be getting used to so that you can bring your talents to the forefront. It's truly learning to love yourself, embrace yourself, to find that balance. And I think that you're going to help other people to discover that within themselves. You know, like Ishtar, being this leader where you're able to look at both sides, the positive and the negative. You're able to confront your own demons and use that energy so that you can bring a new world into being. You know, like it really feels like the energy of the fox, like you are going to be very creatively thinking through problems. And the fox is one of those spiritual energies that, depending on the mythology you're looking at, can be either considered very sly, quick, smart, or very deceptive. And you might have been working through that energy in your life. And that's where you're going to actually end up finding your strengths, finding your balance. Like you have the number 6 here 3 times. We've got Ishtar reducing down to the number 6 because it was 24. Then the playing it safe card is number 6. And then you have the 6 of coins. So the 6 of coins is talking about a fair and even trade. I get the sense from all of this that you are going to be a leader that helps other people see their own strength, and you're going to help guide them towards the future so that they have more awareness about what's literally going on around them. Not only like the strengths that they have to be able to fall in love with themselves and to be able to envision an entirely different life for themselves, but to also be able to see all of the manipulation that is all around them, that is coming from our governments, that is coming from the media, that is coming just from other wounded, damaged people that are around us that are projecting onto us. Starting to see that, heal from that so that we can handle it. Right? Because that is likely not to shift and change anytime soon. We have to be able to face it. You have to be able to like deal with your wounds so that you can continue to go on, and you know how to have your own boundaries up to protect yourself. And there is this element of prismatic vision. I look at this discovery card, and this individual is holding up probably a piece of gold, which can be a symbol of wisdom. But it always makes me think of crystal scrying. And I've talked about this before, that when I crystal scry, which is another divination technique, I will look at a crystal that has lots of fractures, lots of different fissures in it. And I will look for images and patterns, and I will see if anything is brought to mind. And when I look at this, I see a kingdom. I see a castle. You're building a new foundation for people, and you're helping them to see what they could build, right? The tower is falling. It is globally for all of us. That's what's going on right now. The tower is falling. The things that we have done in the past are not going to work any longer. We've been doing certain things for 2,000 years or more, and they don't work. People are suffering, and something needs to give. And you're going to be part of that shift and change. You're going to be bringing people hope. That's what the symbol, the white candle, is talking about. Hope for the future. You're going to help them to remove the bindings that they have to the past. Sage is all about cleansing and purifying. You're going to help do that, but it looks like you're going to be doing it in a really loving way. It's not a situation where you're going to be forcing your opinion on people. They are going to be pushing you to the front. I think that some of you don't want to be the leaders, and unfortunately, it's your destiny, you know? And I think that you don't want to be the leader because you're afraid, right? I think that you're playing it safe right now. Inside, you know that you have a message, that you're meant to do something. Maybe you only know a little bit about what that is, right? From my personal experience and the experience that I have found working with hundreds of people, most of the time people know what the end vision is going to be, right? The grand goal. You have something in your mind that you know that you're meant to accomplish, and you know what you want to be able to celebrate in the future, but you don't know how to get there. And it feels scary because you can tell that you're going to have to sort of go out of your comfort zone. You have to take a risk, and that there will be people that don't get it and will push back against you. And I want you to know right now, you are not going to be alone. Every single person that is watching this reading, pile number 1, is going to be standing with you. So I want everyone who watched pile number 1, please put a crown for your throne in the comments so that you guys can see who is standing with you, right? Like, so you can see how many people are walking this pathway with you. because I know it can feel really, really overwhelming. I feel overwhelmed at times when I think about what I have to do for the future, what I want to do, what's calling out inside me, right? This is your north node. This is in you. You want to do this, but you're afraid, and I understand why. And you are still going to be working through getting into a place of alignment. My eye was just drawn to the fact that this is card number 7, or it reduces down to the number 7. So there is still some shifts and changes that are taking place inside you. So everything is going to be in divine timing. You're cleansing and purifying yourself. If you can get your hands on a piece of moldavite, do. It will work well for you. Many of you likely feel sort of otherworldly. Some of you might identify or relate to the term starseed. If not, that's totally okay. I get the sense, though, that you are kind of unique and different, maybe a fish out of water, right? You might have incarnated. For those of you who are new here, I definitely believe in reincarnation. So I talk about it quite a bit, but you likely incarnated into a family that was dramatically different than you. And that's part of your journey, working through that pain and discomfort, because it's the wounds, the battle scars that you're going to have when you finally step up as the leader, right? That is going to be kind of your armor, right? That's what's going to make you sort of invincible. I definitely recommend that if you are really called to the spiritual path in some way, it doesn't mean that you have to be a spiritual guide. You know, your career could be in any field. We need leaders like this in every avenue of life. But if you're called to the spiritual path, I would start meditating, trying to connect with your ancestors and your guides. And I definitely feel like star ancestors or star energy could be very beneficial to you. And that can come forward in a bunch of different ways. It could mean that you literally want to like connect with the stars. The stars were often used as a symbol of all of our ancestors because, you know, we have millions, each one of us, literally through your bloodline, you have millions of ancestors. And then if you take into consideration your past lives, it's like, wow, we're family. You and I, we're family. All of us, we're family. But you might also be really interested in looking at your star chart. So look into where your north node is. That'll give you an indication. Try and figure out what house it's in, because that'll give you an indication of where you're going or where you should sort of apply this energy. Okay, so this is likely sounding a little overwhelming to you, but that's okay. You're not going to be on your own. Like I said, you're going to have help. So let's find out who's going to be helping you. This is going to be the overall energy of the people that are helping you. So let's see. Who's going to be helping pile number 1? Oh my God, I love it. Okay, the cards that just came forward. Princess Diana, Courtney Love, and Josephine Baker. I literally have goosebumps. Okay, so the people that are going to be helping you are definitely going against the grain. These are 3 women that in their own right were going against the grain, right? We've got Princess Diana. If you know anything about her life, she really struggled, especially being in the royal family, because there was all kinds of situations that were unfolding in her personal life and in her marriage that were very hard for her to deal with. And she had a lot of pressure on her, a lot of eyes on her, and she had really no voice, right? It was like, please play your role and don't ask any questions. And it's part of the reason why Meghan Markle and Harry decided that they didn't want to be part of the, you know, system any longer. So you're going to be surrounded by people in various capacities in your life that are used to being in the public eye, that are used to dealing with institutions that go back generations, that really have like, they have their hands in, you know, everyone's pocket is kind of the energy that I'm getting. Like, they know how to work the system, and these are people that are going to be your allies. So that's beautiful. Then Courtney Love. like the rebel child, the, you know, grand queen of the grunge movement. So you are going to be surrounded by people that aren't afraid to go against the grain and get rebellious and speak out and say things that are not popular and potentially even use shock value to their advantage. So this might be a situation where you start to work with people that understand how to manipulate the media to get people watching and listening to your message. And Josephine Baker, like someone who had to go up against really serious oppression, and she had to actually leave the US and she moved to Paris, France to be able to have the life that she wanted. So the people that are going to be supporting you and helping you are people that are not afraid to pick up their lives and do something that is bold and different if it helps them achieve their goal. And also creative innovators, right? Like they're very stylish too. I mean, stylish in very different ways, but very stylish, understand about image. They really understand about image. So if you are somebody who is possibly on social media, or there is your image is an important factor in what you're trying to achieve in the future, you are going to be in really good company. These people are going to have your back. And I definitely get this sense that these are like ride or die energies, right? And I get the sense that they're going to be people that really stand their ground and like hold their own. Like they are important. They're building something in their own lives. They're not riding your coattails. This is main character energy, and you have main character energy, which is powerful. So it's leaders with leaders. I love that. Okay, so let's find out who's going to be opposing you. These are the people that are going to try and silence you. They're going to try and take you down. They're going to try and stop you from doing what you're doing. Okay. Yes. All right. This makes perfect sense. All right. So the first card that you got is the Addict, and it says compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. These are the people that are stuck in the matrix. These are the people that are afraid of the change. They have their own light. Every single person on this planet is divine and special and beautiful and has a glorious spark inside them that's calling them towards their north node. And some of them have lots of pain and trauma, and they're not able to find that spark. And a lot of them still have, you know, this veil of deception sort of blinding them, and they can't see the truth. And some of them are terrified. They don't want to see the truth. They don't want to see the truth, because if they see the truth, then they have to accept that they bought into something that was never going to bring them happiness, or that they are victims and in some capacity in their lives. And everyone, you know, from an outsider perspective might think, well, it'll liberate you. You'll feel better. But before you get liberated, you have to do all the shadow work. And like, that's hard. That is hard. You know, some of us, and I feel like you and I have a bond, because I'm like this too. I am rip that Band-Aid off. Always have been. It's like, you know, I need to fix something. Let's get in therapy. Let's do it. I'm going to read the book. I'm going to do the work. And my family isn't like that at all. They are like this. So I had to come to peace with that, right? And so it looks like on your journey, you're going to be coming into contact with a lot of people like this. And it might actually be your family that is the, you know, first obstacle to overcome. And oftentimes just making peace with the fact that that's where they're at and you just have to accept it sort of diffuses it. They'll still push back, right? But it's like this figure. You can't push back a tsunami. It doesn't matter, you know, whether you have your arms out, you're going to be engulfed by the waves. And you're the tsunami. So the next card that you got is Fool. using humor to wound rather than liberate, denial of your emotional truth. This is definitely giving me covert narcissist, troll vibes. So you're going to be dealing with people on the internet or in real life. Most likely it'll be online hate with this energy, where they are going to try and confuse whatever it is you're trying to do. I'm getting bullshit baffles brains. So they are going to try and gaslight you, and they're going to try and talk in circles, and they're going to try and trigger your wounds to get you to react. And you just can't. You have to be constantly in your wise mind, right? We have emotions, but our emotions don't make the decisions, right? We're in balance with this energy of the number 6. You're in balance. You feel your emotions. You're passionate. Our emotions are so important. They're connected back to your intuition, and they're your passion that helps you to want to be part of this change that's building a better world, a better community, a better product, a better experience for people, whatever it is that you're involved in. Your discovery, your love, your emotions are going to guide you there. Your heart energy. Like, you've got 2 cards that are both green crystals connected back to your heart chakra. So you're being, and you got the true love card. So you're being guided by your heart. But you need to also be mindful of the fact that because you love it so much, you're so passionate about it, people will try and use that against you. So you have to sort of be willing to go through and look at all of your own triggers so that they can't be used against you, right? You need to know what your weaknesses are better than anyone else. So when they are spiked inside you, someone says something awful about, things that you're insecure about, you stay calm the entire time, because that will diffuse them. They will never be able to get you off topic. Really effective politicians know how to stay on target, even when their opponents are throwing all kinds of barbs at them. So that's where you want to graduate to, even if you have no interest in politics. But I'll be honest with you, you guys are going to need to get interested in these subjects. What's going on in the community, it's overwhelming, especially with Princess Diana here. There's real energy of humanitarian ventures, truly leading us forward. How do we bring in balance? That energy of like, I'm going to give what I can, being altruistic, not thinking there's not enough, really leading by example, like really taking into account like what your core beliefs are. Do you believe that the universe will provide, that the universe is abundant, that there is enough for everyone? Because if you do, you have to start living your life that way. You have to fight against yourself when, someone on the street asks you if you have a couple of dollars that you can donate to them, and they're like on hard times. You can't allow that part of you inside that says, well, maybe they have some sort of addiction, or maybe they're lying, or I'm on hard times. You have to be mindful of your own circumstances, but you have to also override all of that, because even if they do have addictions, even if they are faking it, it doesn't matter, because you're leading by example, and the example is I give. And if you give, the universe will give back to you. Then the next card you've got is storyteller, shadow attribute, making up tales that harm others. Yep. People are going to run smear campaigns against you. I get the sense that many of you are literally going to be community organizers and leaders. And you might still be running a business, right? You could be running a business, or you could be the CEO of a company. You could be a journalist. You could be, a celebrity. But we are moving into a time of humanity where what we say and the impact we have on the world and our community is at the core of our brand, if you will. It's going to be so important. So you're going to be working towards this, and people are obviously going to be trying to make up stories about you to get you to lose your temper, make bad decisions, or they're going to try and it basically, the overwhelming energy here is that they're going to try and compromise you in some way, and all of them are in their shadow energy, and you gotta just keep moving. And that's why you've got this beautiful team of support that's going to be helping you all the way along. Okay, let's find out what you need to release so that you can get into this this purpose, basically. How can you get to a place where you start to embody the energy of your North Node and become this leader that you're destined to be? Ooh. Oh my God, this is wild. You just got the high heart chakra, ecstatic bliss. Your high heart chakra is connected back to your like true divine love, the energy of unity. We are all one. We are all connected. I am going to give freely of love. So if there is anything inside you that feels like you're not worthy of love, or others aren't worthy of love for any number of reasons, that is what you need to work on. Once again, I would say Moldavite, but it is a pricier crystal, and there's a lot of knockoffs. So you could get any crystal that connects back to the heart chakra, or you can just go into meditation and you can meditate on the energy of Moldavite. You don't necessarily have to have the crystal, right? Everything is energetic. You can tap into any kind of energy at any point in time. You are so much more powerful than you realize, but we'll do another reading all about that. So, yeah, you need to start healing your heart love energy. Once that is healed and you've released any kind of bitterness or anger or any kind of feelings of inadequacy, then all of a sudden you're going to be unstoppable. This is just going to move forward so quickly. Okay, so now I want to find out what you're going to gain from this once you step into this leadership role and you become who you're destined to be. What are you going to gain? Okay. All right, so you received Wolfsbane, Caution and Death. I'll explain that. Don't get upset. Blueberry, Surviving Sickness. What doesn't kill you defines you. Tomato, Love Karma. And Parsley, Gratitude and Counting Blessings. So what this is saying is that what you're going to gain is you are going to overcome all of the fears. All of the things that were holding you back are no longer going to have any kind of power over you. If you've been afraid of what other people will think or what might happen in the future, you are not going to have that holding you back. You're going to have to face your own fears. But once you do that, then, it's like shining a light in, the darkness, and you're no longer worried about what might be lurking there. You've been able to see, everything is clear. And all of the periods of pain will become a memory that you look back on with a certain amount of gratitude because of the gifts and the experiences, like basically the lessons that you learned from them. With the blueberry, you're going to, and you already have, I already get the sense that you already have experienced pain in your life, and we're all going through pain, and things are likely going to get more difficult before they get better. We're experiencing the tower fall on a global scale. But there will be a break in the clouds, and you are not alone. We are not alone. There are spiritual energies all around us. Love is coming your way. If you're not already in a love, like a romantic love partnership, there's a good chance that that's going to come towards you, and that that's part of this leadership role. Like with true love and love karma coming out, many of you are going to have what I refer to as a divine counterpart, which is basically, you know, like I was saying with the friends, it's like your ride or die. So it's going to be someone who's equally healed to you, that has the same vision, that wants to do something very beneficial, and it's a passionate love story. Now, this could also be all of these beautiful connections. This could be all of your soul family that comes forward. And ultimately, you're going to be so grateful for everything that happened. You're going to be counting your blessings, because there's going to be a lot of success that comes with this. This isn't going to be like a situation where you are fighting these battles and not getting anywhere. Like, you're going to rise up to becoming this powerful leader. I definitely get the sense you're going to have financial stability. And I think that there's many of you that are going to have some sort of celebrity, some sort of fame, or at least be at the top of your game, where maybe you're the head of a foundation. There is, or you have your own practice, or you're recognized in your industry as being like the one to watch, is the energy that I'm getting. Wow. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I hope that this spoke to you. I would love to know in the comments. Don't forget to put that crown in the comments. I definitely would like to see how many people picked pile number 1. And of course, like I said, it helps give all of you guys support, so you know that there's more than just you out there that's walking this path. And of course, I would love it if you guys could subscribe to the channel. I'd love to see you in future readings, and it also enters you into the contest once you comment as well. And if any of you guys are interested in working with me, you can go to my website, odessamall.com. All of my services and booking information are available there. I do tarot card readings, spiritual coaching. I do channeled messages from your spirit guides, Reiki, and I do past life readings. So if you have any questions for me at all about that, feel free to reach out, and I'd be happy to answer your questions. So have a lovely day or night, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next reading. Take care. Hi, pile number 2, welcome back. So you picked the Palo Santo bundle as well as the hawk feather. And before we get into your reading, I just want to mention I'm running a contest right now. You can win a free reading with me. All you have to do to enter is subscribe to the channel, comment on this reading, and then when I reach the milestone of 6,000 subscribers, I will announce the winner on my community tab. So I'm going to be filling you in on your destiny. Who are you destined to become, and what are you destined to achieve? Then I'm going to dive into a couple more decks and fill you in on who's going to be helping you on this journey. But I also want you to know who's going to try and stop you, who will oppose you. And of course, there will be some things that you need to leave behind, and I want you to know what those things are. But of course, there's going to be great rewards. So I want you to know what you're going to be gaining by moving towards your destiny and becoming this future person. So let's start off by figuring out who you're destined to become and what you're destined to achieve. So the first card is the Hierophant, followed by the 5 of Wands. And you've got new supportive connections as the next card, number 8, followed by dark thoughts, card number 3, then labradorite, strength, transformation, intuition, and Leo, Scorpio, and Sagittarius are featured on the back of this card. Mystical and flashing with color, labradorite heightens intuition and psychic abilities while protecting the auras from energy leaks. It balances the intellect and is protective against negative energies. I am wearing labradorite right now, actually. Then we've got Snake, shed old skin, Wheel, indecisiveness, allowing your life to ramble aimlessly. Midheaven, Pinnacle, card number 36. That would reduce down to 9. Descendant, Invitation, card number 37. That would reduce down to the number 10. Followed by Green Terra, Salvation, card number 18. And of course, that would reduce down to the number 9. Okay, wow. So what is coming forward is you are going to be going through a transformation. Who you are right now is going to be the launching point to help you sort of take your experience and launch you into a position of leadership and authority as the Hierophant. The Hierophant is a card that talks about being a leader, but a leader within some sort of established organization. So this might be a situation where you are stepping into a leadership role within your work, within possibly an organization that you've been connected to spiritually. This might be a community group, this might be a church, but it definitely has the energy of something that's long-standing. And it looks like you're going to be trying to shift and change whatever the norm has been. If it is, say, within a church, there's certain ways things are done by any organization, but definitely within religious communities. And it looks like you're going to be trying to get this potentially outdated way of doing things to move into the future. And it looks like you're going to try and shift and change the way people see the organization, but potentially how they see even themselves, so that they can start to see what could be. Where could we go? What is the pinnacle of the success that we can have within midheaven, the pinnacle? This particular card is a card that talks about, or this particular aspect of your chart talks about your reputation, and it can talk about how you're going to be seen in the world. The thing that you might be most known for. It's an indication of where the sun will be at its highest position in your chart. And so I think that this applies to both the organization that you're going to be connected to, or whatever this cause is, but also how you see yourself. I think that there are certain changes you would like to see, possibly within your own life, or within your community, or within this organization, or maybe within the entire world. I think that there is transformation you would like to see. And I think that you have a strong intuition, and I think that you can see the potential of where we could go. I think that you can also see the potential in other people, but you don't necessarily know how to get there. There's a certain amount of indecisiveness and possibly even a reluctance to step into this role. With Green Terra as well as the Hierophant, it definitely feels like part of your role is to help people find salvation. Now, for some of you, it will be within a religious or spiritual context. Maybe you are part of an organized church. Maybe you're just spiritual. It doesn't matter. Whatever you believe in, I support. And it looks like, even if it has nothing to do with spirituality or religion, you're going to be helping people get to a place where they feel saved. They feel possibly saved from their own destructive patterns. Like with the Five of Wands, this can be talking about conflict between people that have opposing opinions. It can be based on ego. It can be based on healthy debate, though, as well. It can be people coming together and sort of battling to be heard, but ultimately it works towards some sort of overarching beneficial goal. You know, it's kind of like healthy competition where people are pursuing this same objective from different angles, and then in a way you kind of cover more ground, and as a result it's easier to get to the conclusion. I think it'll be different depending on who you're interacting with, but there definitely feels like there's this sort of conflict at play within this sort of journey of yours, that it'll be part of your struggle. The conflict that you've had to be around, the conflict that you may have even had to grow up in, might be the launching point that gets you to a place of seeing things from a higher perspective, seeing yourself from a different perspective, and then shedding your old skin. The Descendant invitation is talking about how you see other people, potentially seeing the best or seeing the worst in people, but it can also indicate how you see yourself or how others have seen you and how that has influenced you. And if I look back at the dark thoughts, with the number 3, often that is talking about interacting with other people and groups. So you may have had to go through periods of deep darkness, depression, despair. You may have felt like you were walking this path alone, that you were sort of lost in the dark. It might have felt like you were never going to get out of this dark maze. Like no matter where you turned, everything seemed to end up being a dead end for you. This might be why you're sort of feeling like you're wandering aimlessly, and maybe you're looking for someone to be your savior at this point. Maybe you're at a point where you're looking to see if someone will come in and rescue you. And I think that there will always be people that will come into your life that can help you, guide you. The new supportive connections is definitely standing out to me. But I think that they are going to steer you in the right direction. Like this wheel is a wheel, but it also makes me think of the steering wheel of a ship. And I think they're going to help steer you in the right direction, but ultimately you're going to get to a place where you find your own inner strength. You recognize that you have the light within you. And if you believe in yourself and you really start to have faith that you're being guided to something greater than you that could really bring you a lot of success and happiness and help you transcend this darkness, that you won't be lost any longer. You can use your own intuition to get out of the dark maze. And then you can get to a place of like unconditional love and support for self. And ultimately, it's like a fountain, right? A like tiered fountain where the love for self comes out of the top of the fountain and it cascades over that first basin into another and into another and into another. So the love that you have for yourself is going to overflow your cup, and then it's going to spill into other people's cups. And you're going to be able to help heal them as well without actually having to be their savior. I think that you know that you're meant to help people, but I think that that's also part of the reluctance of stepping into the role. Partially, you don't know how to do what you need to do. You don't know what the pathway forward is. You haven't fully healed self yet, so there might be some imposter syndrome where you're like, what do I know? Like, how am I going to help anyone? Like, I barely have my own stuff together. But because with the Hierophant being card number 5 of the major arcana and then the 5 of Wands, it's definitely telling me that there is an exterior conflict, but there's also an interior conflict. And you will eventually get to a place where I think that you surrender to the energy around you, like your intuition. And you allow yourself to just take one step at a time. You know, you don't try and jump over certain steps. You recognize that, you know, slow and steady wins the race. And there might be twists and turns on this path, but ultimately, whatever is happening is actually helping not only heal you, but to give you the necessary skills that you can have to help heal others. And it's like you're going to transform where you learn how to have those healthy boundaries to protect yourself potentially against even like psychic vampires or energy vampires, narcissistic individuals, because it's talking about here protecting your aura from energy leaks and negative low vibrational energies with the labradorite. So when I talk about narcissism, I'm talking about the spectrum of narcissism. There are people that you may have encountered that might fall under the umbrella of true narcissists. They would be classified as having NDP and NDP. That's a political party in Canada. And PD is what I meant to say. That's so funny. But they might be like people that are sociopaths or psychopaths, but the majority of people just sort of fall under that spectrum of narcissism, and they're not self-aware. They don't know what they're doing is negatively affecting you to the degree it is. They're just sort of on autopilot because they've come up with these coping strategies from when they were like 2-3 years old, and they don't know how to get out. And you are possibly nervous that you're going to be called to help people like that. You're not necessarily going to have to help anyone like that. You're only going to be called to help people that are willing to do the work, because you're not here to be their savior. You are here to give them the tools of salvation. And there's a big difference between that. You know, you're going to have strong boundaries. The number 9 is here twice. And that always makes me think of the 9 of Wands, which is a reference back to the wounded warrior, someone who's been through the battle but has strong boundaries. And I mean, even this Hierophant literally has a patch over his eye, and he's got his staff with him, which is really making me think he's been through a battle, potentially even a spiritual battle, you know, a battle of his own internal beliefs. And when you have those strong boundaries, you will make sure that you're projecting love to people. You understand where they are limited, right? We're all here for a beautiful, special reason, and we all have divine energy inside us. We're all worthy, but there are people that are not necessarily ready to heal, and it doesn't make them less important, but it does definitely indicate that maybe they're not healthy to be in your life, and you will be able to give them the tools, but at a distance, and keep yourself safe and move closer to the people that are ready for the help, right? So you'll have these new supportive connections. And I definitely think that you're also going to have people literally helping you in the same capacity, and they are working alongside you. So this definitely feels to me like it's related back to your actual career. So some of you might be coaches, counselors, teachers, you're working in the medical field. You could be doing anything where you're helping people overcome their limitations, their own issues, their own problems, their own darkness. You're giving them solutions, and that can come forward in terms of like their mental health, but this could be real physical solutions to things, like people that are having issues with money and you are a financial planner and you help them with that. There's just so many different ways that this could come forward. You, like I was saying before, you could be spiritual and you're doing readings. I mean, with the labradorite, you could be very psychic, or you could be spiritual coaches and you're helping people with their own, you know, questions of reality and existence. But ultimately, it feels like you're going to be helping people to reach their highest point of success. And ultimately, you're going to be reaching that as well. You're leading by example, and you're definitely considered like an authority. You're definitely very, very well respected. So let's see who's going to be joining you on this journey. Who's going to be helping you to achieve these goals, helping you to transform into this leader. Who is going to be helping pile number 2 to achieve their destiny? Okay, let's see. Oh, wild. Okay, so you have Elizabeth the First, and we also have Marie Antoinette. So we've got 2 powerful leaders here. 2 people, females who were in leadership positions at times when that was really uncommon. Elizabeth I was one of the longest reigning monarchs in English history. Now, of course, things didn't turn out quite as well for Marie Antoinette because of the French Revolution, but she was considered someone who was a style icon. She is very well known to this day, someone who really understood about image. And so did Elizabeth I. She really understood about image and marketing, and she understood how to really hold her authority and her power. She never got married. She never had children. And she defined her time. I mean, all of the fashion that she is wearing in this card, became the style of the day. And that all came from her. She really knew how to become larger than life. And Marie Antoinette was exactly the same way. Giant powdered wigs. At this time, the fashion at this time was people had various colors of hair and put these cute little patches on their faces. It was very whimsical, very over the top. There was lots of theater and culture and music and excitement. So it seems to me like you're going to be doing something that potentially is dealing with the darker aspects of life. I would classify you as a shadow worker, and that means that you have faced a lot of darkness in your own life, and you've used those lessons to liberate you, and then you're going to walk other people out of the darkness. But it looks like you're going to be doing it with a lot of style. A lot of style, a lot of color, a lot of excitement. So this might be something where you're helping people to overcome their darkness, to reach their own pinnacle of success, to turn the wheel of fortune forward, but you're doing it in a very innovative, different way. These are people that would definitely understand about marketing and understand about the future, right? This is energy that's all about the future and beauty, strongly beauty. These are the beautiful people. This might be a situation where you have a cause. Maybe you start a nonprofit, or there is something that you want to do in the world. You want to create something that's going to help people, and you align yourself with celebrities. And there are celebrity spokesmen, or spokespeople, I should say, that are working with you. It definitely feels like you are going to have co-workers or collaborators that are working with you in business or professionally, but they're also friends. So this might even be something where you're putting together a community of people, and there definitely feels like there's lots of different elements to these people as well. They are multi-dimensional. They are definitely interesting in more than one way. So that is beautiful, and they obviously know how to be seen. They know how to have eyes watch them, and they know how to convey a lot without necessarily speaking is the energy I'm getting. Like visually, they are saying a lot. That is very cool. They might be artists. You might even be working with artists. Even though these are like monarchs, I'm getting that sense a lot. A lot of color, beauty, excitement. Maybe you are working with people that are filmmakers or they are graphic artists. There's something unique and different about what your approach is going to be. So let's find out who's going to be opposing you. Who is going to try and stop you from achieving your destiny and becoming the person you're meant to be. Ooh, okay, that's a lot. So let's see. First of all, you have guide, places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. Okay, so this would be a person, like I was saying, many of you might be in the spiritual field. This might be people who are fake gurus, people who are saying, oh, I can help you for sure. It's just this one easy step. If you just know this one easy step and you implement this into your life, everything is going to change. All you have to do is buy my course. All you have to do is buy my book. All of that might have some grain of truth to it, but no one is going to fix their whole life and be able to learn all of the spiritual lessons and transcend and get to their destiny with one easy step. All of that is marketing spin, and it's very destructive. It's the kind of energy that is rampant in the spiritual field where people feel like it's all, just a scam. And they end up prolonging suffering because they have had people that really were thinking about the money above and beyond everything else. And it doesn't necessarily just end with the spiritual field. It could be in any field, working in healthcare where all of a sudden everything becomes privatized and people are literally going bankrupt because they got sick. That is wrong. So there are people that have vested interests in the money they're going to make that are going to try and stop you. You received Knight, allegiance to a destructive ruler or principle, romantic delusions. Yes, there are people that are going to be in the back pocket of politicians, in the back pocket of corporations, other established authorities. They don't want to change. And like I said, you seem to be moving into an established field or within an established organization and saying, no, we're not doing it this way any longer. But I think that that's where it's going to be really important that you align with these types of people that really have this leadership authority. They are used to being in these circles, or they have some sort of major fame where they're going to be able to get you meetings or get you through doors that you wouldn't be able to get into otherwise, because I get the sense that what you're doing is quite radical, and that's great. I am all for that. We need more of that. And you might be afraid of that. It might be making you quite nervous because I think to a certain degree you already know this inside you, and it is scary. It's scary to be the leader, to go up against what is already established, because you know that you're at risk, but you're not going to be alone. You're going to be guided. This is your destiny. So some of the other people that might be fighting back against you, trying to slow you down, have sort of romantic delusions about what is actually going on. Maybe they're not seeing the facts as they truly are. Maybe they don't see that they're actually being manipulated. Maybe they have some sort of idea that, well, if we just stick with this, they're going to get a big break. This is kind of the idea of like people that don't support, say, fair wages for people, or there being more, open discussion about potentially, what people are bidding on homes, instead of it being a closed bidding process. There's lots of different ways, but like they're actually hurting themselves is what I'm trying to get at, because they think that the system, if they just play their cards right, they will get their big break, and they will never get their big break. They are living in a fantasy, and they're being manipulated by whoever this ruler or principal is. And unfortunately, they're going to have to deal with that on their own. But I think because this is a knight and you have two rulers here, I mean, these are going to be people that are going to be annoyances to you, but they're not necessarily going to be able to bar you from what you're really, really, aiming to achieve. Now, this card might be more of an issue for you. You got the Pioneer, and it says compulsive need to keep moving on. But this particular card is talking about innovative people. So this might be a situation where if you are spiritual, this might be the science-minded people, the people that are saying, no, that's irrational, there's no, proof of that, or they are trying to constantly keep the conversation moving towards business potentially and not enough towards heart. And you're saying, we have to have like some sort of morals here, like that people deserve basic human rights. Like we all have the right to a comfortable life and to exist. It is, it has been sold to us, this idea that we have to earn those things. And we don't. We deserve that because we are part of God, all of us, and we exist. There is no one on this planet that has more right to any of the resources on this planet, no matter who they are or what family they were born into. We are all equal in the eyes of spirit, and we need to start acting accordingly. Priest violates the trust of your spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. Many of you are definitely in a spiritual role in some way. And like I said, even if you aren't, what's coming forward is there are people that want to make money. There are people that want to get ahead, that they are pretending that they are altruistic and that they have the community's best interests at heart, and they don't. And they are wolves in sheep's clothing is what's coming forward. And you are going to be aligned with the people that you need to be able to reveal these people and step aside, step around them so that they can't slow you down. But it's definitely going to be a battle. It's going to be a fight. That's for sure with this Five of Wands. And with the Knight, they're ready to fight. They will fight you, but you're going to win. So let's find out what you need to release so that you can sort of step into this role. Step into your destiny. What do you need to release? What does pile number 2 need to release? Oh my God, so beautiful. Okay, so the first card that you got is Heart Chakra, unfurling back to love. And you also got home. And this figure is pointing to the hole in their heart. So what you need to release is the pain. There's pain that you're holding in your heart from the experiences that you have had in the past, and it's likely connected back to your family of origin or where you sort of saw home. I think that there were people that were tasked, like that their responsibility, their duty was to protect you, and they failed. They didn't do the things that they needed to. Maybe there was real pain and trauma that was going on, but maybe there was indifference. Maybe they just didn't have time. Maybe they didn't care what your opinions or your thoughts or your emotions. Maybe they wanted you to be someone other than who you were. They were watching everything you were doing and critiquing and critiquing and critiquing until you lost a sense of self. Part of your heart just, drifted away on the breeze. And you can bring that back. You can heal yourself. This was one of the most liberating, conclusions that I came to on my own healing path, where I finally realized that the little girl inside me that had gone through so much pain and so much trauma in my earlier life, still existed. She was still alive, and she was inside me, and she was still just as pained and tortured as she had been when I was 5, 6 years old. And I could do something about that. I could start mothering her and nurturing her the way that the adults around me didn't. And so I made that my mission. And I talked to myself. I talked to the inner child inside me in a different way. And I allowed myself to do the things that I wasn't able to do when I was young, to voice the feelings I had, or to be silly, and to just, through baby steps, I just came out of the darkness. And I allowed myself to be authentic. And it was scary, but I liberated myself, and I was so grateful that I did that, and it was scary, and it will be scary for you too. Now, the other thing that really, really helped was coming to a place of forgiveness for those that had hurt me. And I think that that's also what these cards are talking about. Being able to come to a place of understanding and acceptance doesn't mean that you condone what happened. You can recognize that what they did was unspeakable, or it was unjust. And you can still recognize and come to a place of peace where you recognize that they are literally not able to do any better. And asking them to play a role that they're incapable of doing is prolonging suffering for you. And it isn't necessarily going to shift things so that you get the parent or you get the childhood that you wanted to have. You won't have that, but you can have the future that you want. The past is the past, and all of it, I know that lots of people have a hard time with this when I say this, but everything happens for a reason. And the reason that we have the painful experiences in life is so that we can build empathy. Because when you have something awful happen to you, you look at other people that go through those same things as sisters and brothers. You will never look at those people out there as strangers because you have that in common. So that is the reason we are learning to become connected again. And you learn skills on how to build yourself up. And those are those really important skills that you're going to use to help liberate others. You're going to be the salvation. So let's find out what you're going to gain from all of this. What is going to be the gain that pile number 2 achieves? Ooh, that's a lot. Okay, so let's see what you've got here. You've got Nora, parasite using others, Rosemary, remembrance, or ghost orchid, phantoms, memories, intangible things, followed by fly agaric, poison and confusion, kiwi, bold perspective, fulfilling plans, physical protection, recovery, aloe, and wild lettuce, unexpected attraction and allure. Okay, so what this is saying is basically you're going to be gaining your physical protections, like I have been saying throughout the reading. You are going to get strong. You are going to embody your spiritual gifts. You're going to really remember who you truly are. And I don't mean who you are in this moment. I mean the beautiful etheric being that you are, this soul essence that is connected to God, source, the creator of world. That with the power of your own mind, you can create your own destiny. And you will plant the seeds, and then you're going to nurture those seeds with positive affirmations and intention. And then you're going to take action. You're going to physically go out there and make it happen. And you're not going to allow the poison or the confusion that comes from all of these snake oil salesmen distract you. And through that, you're going to be able to point out there's a parasite, there's a parasite, there's a parasite. But ultimately, you're going to be doing it all from a place of love. There are some things that are going to be coming forward, some sort of gifts, talents, opportunities that are going to come forward to you that you're going to be gaining that Spirit won't tell me about. These are miracles. These are intangible things, gifts and talents that and opportunities and people that you need to not know about right now, because there are certain reactions that you're going to have to those events that will be pivotal in you taking the next step forward. This unexpected attraction and allure. There's a good possibility that there is going to be specific people, right, with the Marie Antoinette and the Elizabeth I, that are very powerful and influential people that are going to come forward to you, naturally attracted to you. Your vibration is going to attract the things that you want. Yes, you're going to take action towards the things that you desire, but you're not going to be fighting for it. You're never going to fight for what you want in a striving sort of like, begging. You're never like, and I mean that on an energetic level, you're never going to be feeling like, pleading with the universe to give you what you want. You're going to know that you're in the right, that you have the best of intentions, that you are trying to create a better world, and that aligning with the right people, the right opportunities, and the right resources as well is not only going to be a great benefit to you, but to everyone else. And then the universe is just going to pour that into you. Pour it, pour it, pour it, pour it. Because this is your destiny. It's just a matter of you recognizing that and having the courage to move forward. So I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I would love to know what your thoughts are. Leave a feather in the comments, because that will help everyone else know that they're not alone. That's in pile number 2. You'll be able to see all of the other people that are walking this journey in different aspects of life along with you. And it, of course, will also enter you into the contest. And definitely subscribe to the channel as well so you can be part of the contest. And of course, I want to see you guys in the next reading. And if any of you guys are interested in working with me one-on-one, you can go to my website, odessamall.com. All of my services and booking information are available there. I do tarot card readings, spiritual coaching, Reiki, past life sessions, and I also do channeled messages from your spirit guides. So you can always email me if you have any questions or you have any issues with booking, and I'd be happy to help you out. So have a wonderful day or night, and I look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, pile number 3, welcome back. So you picked the jar with the seashells as well as the citrine point. And before we get into your cards, I just want to mention I'm running a contest right now. You can win a free reading with me. All you have to do to enter is subscribe to the channel, comment on this reading, and then when I reach the milestone of 6,000 subscribers, I'll announce the winner on my community tab. So in today's reading, I am revealing to you what your destiny is. I'm going to be telling you who you're destined to become and what you're destined to achieve. So these cards are going to fill me in on that information, but then I'm going to dive into the other decks and find out who's going to be assisting you on this journey, and also who might be trying to oppose you or slow you down. I also want you to know what you're going to have to release or let go of to achieve these goals. But of course, there's going to be rewards that come along the way, so I want you to know what those things are as well. So let's start off by figuring out who you're destined to become and achieve. So the first card is 3 of Wands, followed by the Devil. Then we have Taking Steps, card number 4. Angel of the 4 Directions, also card number 4. Inkpot, Problems to be Resolved. Increase, card number 3. Picture Jasper, Compassion, Nurturing, and Relaxing. The back of the card says Capricorn and Leo, so you may have strong Leo or Capricorn in your chart. Jasper is a nurturing stone that supports us in times of stress. It enhances protection and balance. It allows us to see the bigger picture and move ahead in courage and confidence. It can harvest dreams into reality. Stargazers, set your sights high. Star ancestor, follow the voice of your soul. Progressions, journey, card number 56, which of course would reduce down to the number 2 because it reduces down to the number 11, and then that further reduces down to the number 2. Nike, ambition, card number 39, and that would reduce down to the number 12, and then that would be 3. And then we have Hestia, home, card number 22, which would reduce down to the number 4. So that is interesting because we've got 2, 3, 4. So there is a progression in the numbers, and you literally got the card progression, journey, and then star ancestors, follow the voice of your soul, which is indicating, a progression. The increase card has a road, and then taking steps. This person is moving towards this palace. And then the 3 of Wands is also a card that's talking about things moving towards you. So there's a lot of movement in your future. There's a lot that's going to be shifting and changing. The progression card is literally talking about your life plan. It's talking about all of the things that are destined for you, that are all aligning so that you can achieve something great, is the energy I'm getting. With the angel of the 4 directions, this is talking about you working with all of the elements around you to create something that's in alignment with a greater goal. This is something that's probably going to affect a number of different people, something that's very altruistic, something that might change the course of history, because this is definitely talking about, like the 4 directions also connected to 4 different angels all coming together in different realms of our world, different realms of our lives, blending something together to create something greater. And then the star ancestor cards are really interesting because this is also talking about navigating towards the future. People in the past, when they were traveling, sailors, navigated by the stars. And stars are also a reference to our ancestors and getting guidance from them. So you might have strong psychic abilities, spiritual gifts, mediumship, or you might just have an inner calling where it's claircognizance. You just know things. You don't know how you know them. You just do. And it might be something that's telling you that you're destined for greatness. You're destined for something that is larger than just you. And that the road that you're walking down is taking you down a pathway that could potentially lead to great rewards. But I do think that there is going to be a journey. The other energy that's coming out here, especially with journey, is the Odyssey, which is Homer's The Odyssey. It's Greek mythology. It is the story of Odysseus, who wandered after the fall of Troy and the Trojan War. That is the origin of my name. The name Odessa means the long journey, and that is what this feels like. It feels like you're going to be going on a long journey of self-discovery, but while you're learning about yourself, it seems like you're going to be learning about other people, their experiences, maybe other cultures, but also the past. So this could be your own family, like your own ancestors, but it could be like your community's history, or something globally. This might be a situation where you are really interested in history or anthropology, or you just stumble into this. Like it might be a situation like you buy a house and all of a sudden you find things in the attic that belong to an old resident, and it just, they're so intriguing, it ends up pushing you down this path to solve this mystery. Like it could be something like that. But it's definitely something that, in one sense, it's very ambitious and it could take you to great heights where you achieve a lot of glory, but it's also taking you to a place of home, where you finally find yourself. You might already have sort of a wandering spirit where you feel like you need to keep moving. Maybe that's physically, like literally, you travel a lot, or you've immigrated somewhere, or maybe you are making a lot of changes in your career. Like maybe you've made different, like you've pursued one career in one field and then you switched to something else, or you have had that in terms of relationships. It just feels like there's traveling going on. So maybe it's lots of relationships that were significant. You learned a lot, you loved those people, but they were short-lived. But I think that is part of your journey. That is part of it. Like that, going back to the Odyssey, like Odysseus ended up with all of these different people in different communities learning different things, all of which he took back with him back to Ithaca, his homeland, and his rightful place was restored, and he brought back so much wisdom and treasure as well. And I feel like that's what you're going to be doing. You're bringing back all of these treasures, and you're going to gain the skills that you need to overcome some of these problems that definitely touch you, but it's beyond you as well. And it's like I said, there's a progression here with 2, 3, 4, where it's like people coming together, maybe 2 people coming together, and then it's 3 people coming together, and then you build something, that solid foundation. And it looks to me like you're taking steps to overcome this devil energy. So there's plenty of ways that this could sort of relate to your story. So the devil is a card that's talking about manipulation. It's talking about us succumbing to the lower vibrations of life that can be linked back to ego. It can be elements where we are deceiving ourselves or others are deceiving us, controlling us, placing us in chains. It might not be a person, though. It can actually be an institution that's doing that. It can be a substance. But ultimately, it is something that we may have gone into with the best of intentions, whether that was a coping strategy or whether that was an indulgence because it brought us joy. Ultimately, it leads us down a path of destruction, because something that starts off being helpful ends up being something that's going to really hurt us. And so there's an element of this that's taking place in your life. And like I just described, there's plenty of different ways that could relate to you. And it's overcoming this energy for yourself that helps you to find the pathway forward to help others as well. And then that brings in potentially new opportunities for you, new adventure is coming forward, and definitely financial rewards in some capacity. It could literally be dollars. It could be, being able to have shares in a company. It could come to you in a lot of different ways. It could be you inheriting a new home. There's definitely a feeling of travel and potentially living in different places, because I can't, believe how many references we have to like grand homes with the the palace here, then another palace at the end of this road, and then there are these like really epic gates behind the devil, and then of course Hestia is the home card. So it feels to me like you are going to find that place of home for yourself. Maybe it's a physical building. Maybe it's a sense of community with other people. But it feels like you're going to be creating something that helps others find that home. And because these are like palaces, it feels to me like you're creating something that is like a foundational like institution or a foundational program. It's something that's going to stand the test of time, change things in a really, really, really fundamental way that helps to heal the past, helps to avenge is what just came forward. So this might be a situation, for example, where you are part of a community that has been discriminated against for many, 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 many different generations. That there have been, institutional aspects of life that have forced your community and your ancestors into a place of disadvantage. And that might be a situation where they haven't been able to own property, or it's been very difficult to own property, or they haven't been able to get into certain schools or programs. There's been, invisible barriers to them getting ahead. And maybe things are slowly getting better, but it looks like there's something that you're going to be doing. Like you're learning. Maybe you're just reading so much about the past that it's like something clicks and you realize this is the solution to our problem, that we need to take certain steps. We need to come together. We need to pull resources in from different directions. We need to recognize how powerful we are. We need to be more ambitious than our ancestors, and it literally heals generational trauma potentially, or it could be doing that, and it could be changing and aligning things so that is never a barrier again for the people that you're close with, the people that you love. And it's like you find literal gems. Like maybe it's a situation where you are part of a group that's been so beaten down for so long by, the devil, that you don't even see that the chains aren't on you any longer. They're all in your own mind. Like you're not seeing your own strength. That if you could just see your own strength, you would be much more ambitious and you would just like break free is the energy I'm getting. Like you'd literally be able to like tear down walls. And I think that there are resources and people that will come to you. There might be some people or institutions that are going to come to your aid that don't know that you need the help because they're not able to see the vision yet. And you're going to see the vision, and then they're going to know how they can play their part. This really feels like you're an organizer of potentially even the first two piles, because everyone here is very instrumental in doing something that's going to make changes, which I believe is my collective. I believe that is you're my people. We're here to make change in the world. We are here. If you are gravitating towards my readings, it's because you are destined for greatness and you are here to make some changes. But with that means that there are going to be, dragons that have to be slayed, and we have to be brave. That you might be intimidated by this at this particular point in time, or you might feel like it's a puzzle that you haven't been able to figure out yet. Like you just have little bits and pieces, and it feels like you're trying to navigate by the stars, but it's a starless night, or there's fog, like you just haven't been able to see where to go yet, but the answers are going to be coming. So let's get some cards and find out who's going to be helping you with this. Who's going to be helping pile number 3? Oh, interesting. Oh, interesting. Okay. There was 4 cards here. So you got Emily Bronte. So author of Wuthering Heights. She only wrote 1 book. A very, intense love story about sort of toxic love. Then we have Billie Holiday, the soul singer, fantastic voice, incredible songwriter, and she was heavily discriminated against and really placed in a box. Lots of limitations on the heights that she could reach. And she also had struggles with mental health and addiction. Then we have Bianca Del Rio, who is a drag performer and has a wonderful sense of humor and is able to talk about things that are really difficult subject matter in a really humorous, relatable way, and has always been able to laugh at herself. And then we also have Zelda Fitzgerald, who was the epitome of the flapper girl. She was married to F. Scott Fitzgerald, who wrote The Great Gatsby. She was an inspiration for that story. And she was also a writer herself. And yeah, she was the epitome of the party girl, the flapper, the socialite, and also struggled with mental health issues. So it looks to me like you're going to be dealing with people that are breaking through barriers, that are potentially dealing with elements of oppression, and are dealing potentially with also mental health. They're dealing with things that are literally happening outside of them that are really causing them a lot of pain and anguish, but they're also dealing with their own inner struggles. So basically what I'm saying is the devil is, outside of the house, and the call is also coming from inside the house. So it looks to me like you are going to be partnering with a large group of people as well that I think are on the same level as you. Like, it almost seems like it's all of you coming together that makes this happen. You may have also had struggles with your physical or mental health. You may be an artist. You might be quite creative. All of these people are artists. We've got 2 writers. All of these people, well, we've got 3 performers. I wouldn't necessarily say Emily Bronte was a performer, but we definitely have 3. Zelda wasn't literally performing on stage, but as a socialite, she was, right? They're all performing at all times. That's part of wearing the mask and projecting a certain image. So these are people, they might be neurodivergent as well, really understanding acutely what it means to mask. And I think that as you are working with different people from different backgrounds that are dealing with different struggles, it's like you're finding that common ground that to defeat this energy. So it might be a situation where you come from a whole bunch of different walks of life, but you recognize that the thing that you all have in common is that you are all women, or you identify as feminine, and you're going to fight for women's rights together. And so I think that you might feel quite isolated right now, and that might also add to why you're not entirely sure how to move forward, because you haven't quite found your community yet, that they are on their way. And I get the sense that they're going to be very exciting. people that really know how to have fun. I think that they might have had, like I said, their own struggles in the past, and I get the sense that they're able to laugh at themselves. Maybe they're even have dark sense of humor, or able to laugh at the darkest, saddest aspects of life. They might be spiritually minded as well. And sometimes when you go through spiritual awakenings and you go through the shadow work, you kind of have to have a sense of humor about it, especially if you believe in reincarnation and you believe that we are all here, as I do, that we're here to learn lessons and grow. And sometimes it's like, oh my God, like, seriously, I have to go through this lesson again? Like, can we move on? Because it looks like you're like, I relate to this so much, right? Like, there's no accident that my name is Odessa and it means a long journey. Like, boy, has it ever been. Maybe I'm part of this group with you guys. So you just have to sort of laugh at it, because otherwise you just cry. So let's find out who's going to be opposing you as you're moving towards your destiny. Okay. So let's see. You've got Avenger, resorting to violence in the name of a cause, and Athlete, misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, false sense of invulnerability and entitlement. I would hazard to guess that many of you watching this pile are feminists. You believe in equality for all. The energy of these definitely feels like the distorted divine masculine. Someone who identifies as masculine, who feels like masculinity has to fit into one particular box. There are certain qualities that they see as masculine, and anything outside of that is unfavorable, or even from their perspective is connected back to devil energy. They see it as, a sin potentially, or just distasteful, and they don't want to see it at all anymore. I get the sense that you're going to be pushing back against people who are, seemingly out there fighting for a cause, but this feels like the kind of energy where people who oppose abortion laws go and stand outside of clinics and harass people that are trying to get health care. That kind of energy. Or people that go and protest at people's funerals or at story times, things like that, where they have another agenda. There's another agenda. So they're going to say that they are, they are fighting for some sort of cause or the morality of the nation. And really, it's about power and control. And they will use whatever means necessary to win. And this feels violent. This feels selfish and violent. And when I say violent, I don't necessarily mean they're going to be physically assaulting you. I mean, they will stop at nothing, any means necessary to get what they want. So it could be individuals, but it could also be institutions. So situations like corporations who try and put money into the pockets of politicians so that they don't have to have regulations, and then trains carrying hazardous chemicals blow up, and the chemicals travel even 700 miles into my country, and there is those same chemicals across 2 provinces, those kinds of people, and then offer $1,000 to the residents of a town that is no longer inhabitable. You look like the people that are going to see this for what it is and it might have anything to do with the example I just gave, obviously, but you're going to be stronger in numbers. You know, there's going to be a big movement, and you're part of this big global change. This big global change. Wow. Okay, so let's find out what you guys are going to be releasing so that you can get there. So these might be things that are really easy to release, but it might be things that you have to let go of too. So let's see. Okay, great. So you received evolution and transformation. So what this is actually saying is that you're going to be going through a transformation that changes the way you evolve in life, and it's going to be taking you down another pathway. And what you need to be releasing is control. You need to release what you expect the outcome to be. You might have certain vision of who you're going to be and what's going to come out of your future. And it might be scary to think that it would go any other way. But I think that you are part of a bigger storyline that's so important. And I think that you're a pivotal part of history. That you are part of this particular time period right now. You are existing on this planet at a time when there is great upheaval and change taking place, and you are going to be right there working at shifting and changing it. There's going to be elements that might make you feel uncomfortable because you don't know what the next step is. But it's all part of your destiny. This is card number 53, which reduces down to the number 8, which is talking about cycles. It can be talking about great abundance and opportunity coming towards you. And it can also be talking about reincarnation. You have been working towards this for lifetimes. This is your moment. And this is card number 24, which reduces down to the number 6, which is talking about balance. Like you might be coming to, this is a pivotal life for you, where I feel like there are things that you've been working towards for lifetimes, and this is your moment where you finally put those pieces of the puzzle together and you complete like a larger cycle. Not just a mini cycle that happens inside a lifetime. I mean, something that you can finally release and never have to deal with again as a human. Potentially even not have to reincarnate any longer. But I definitely think that to a certain degree, you are sacrificing yourself. And, you know, martyring yourself. And some people feel uncomfortable when I say that, but I don't mean that you're going to be martyred, like you're going to lose your life. I mean, there are certain things that you agreed to experience in this lifetime that are painful, but you're doing it for the greater good. The greater good being that you're going to walk with many through potentially some heartache and pain, but towards something great and empowering that's going to bring so much illumination and fulfillment and abundance, and you're going to reach the pinnacle of success, and you're going to bring home to yourself and others. But like it will at times maybe feel like you're walking through the fire, and it might feel like it's going on for a really long time. But I feel like you're close. That's the energy I'm getting. That it might be darkest before the dawn, but you are close. Closer than you've ever been to achieving, you know, your rewards. So let's find out what those are going to be. What are the gains that you're going to get from this sacrifice and all of this sort of pain that you've experienced? What will be the gains? Okay, one more. So this card says mandrake, the right ingredients. That's exactly what you're gathering from all of these hardships and pain. Mugwort, increase awareness, banish fatigue. Yes, you are learning about the way that the world works. Your eyes are open. You might be watching the news or you're on TikTok. You're keeping up to date on what's going on, and like, you're hearing stories and you're seeing it from a different perspective. Maybe it has something to do with things that are going on right now. Maybe, like I said, it has something to do with the past. Like, I get this sense that you're seeing that history is repeating itself. And you're like, I'm not going to let it. We're going to stop this. We're going to stop it. There's going to be some way for us to find a way forward. Morning glory, darkness in light, affection. This is talking about you being able to see that even though there is darkness, we can focus on the beauty. We can focus on the light. We can move towards the destiny that we want. Yes, there are awful things happening in the world. Yes, there are terrible people that are leaning into all of the worst qualities of themselves at this particular point in time. On a soul level, everyone is perfect and beautiful. Embodied, sometimes people fall out of alignment and they can do horrible, destructive things. In some cases, that's their destiny as well. That there has to be villains. There has to be villains. Sometimes people are cast that way. But I think you're going to be understanding manifestation and collective manifestation on a much deeper level. That if everyone is focused on one particular reality, it makes that more powerful, that manifestation more powerful, which makes it more likely to come to life. And I think that you're going to start to work with other people to change that through your thoughts, your words, and your actions. This is definitely strongly indicating that there is action that you're going to be taking. Dragon fruit, vigor and victory. Yes, with Nike and ambition. You are going to be victorious. You're going to have this fire inside you. I have goosebumps like up my arms, on my face. You are going to have the energy and the courage and the drive to fight for whatever your cause is, whatever your passion is, your community, for your family, for the people that you love, the people that maybe you don't even know, but you know that you can make a difference. You're going to fight and you're going to be victorious. It's your destiny. So that concludes your reading. I hope that you enjoyed this. I'm being guided to look at these items, and that didn't happen in the other. So before we conclude, citrine is a crystal that is known for bringing about great abundance, financial rewards. And of course, the seashell can be a symbol of listening to our intuition, finding our emotional compass, like I was talking about with all of these sailing references, listening to your intuition and allowing your empathy to also guide you in the decisions that you make, allowing yourself to be reborn. Venus, the goddess of beauty, was reborn from the sea foam. She was birthed from a seashell. You know, you're going to be reborn as well. There's going to be a new version of you, and you're going to help birth a new, beautiful world. So as I said, this has been such a pleasure. That concludes your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to know your thoughts on the reading. Leave me a seashell in the comments if you don't want to leave me an actual comment. This will give you an opportunity to see all of the other people that are on this pathway with you. Pile number 3, look for the seashell. I know there's going to be lots of you, and you're going to be coming together in multiple different ways. And this is so exciting. I am so inspired by this. I really think that you're going to be leading people forward in so many different ways. And I'm so grateful that I have people like this in my collective and that you guys are drawn to my readings. Like, it just, like, honestly makes me want to cry. I just feel so grateful. And definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already joined, because you are exactly the type of people that I want to energetically be able to connect with. You know, I'm inspired by you. And if any of you guys are interested in working with me one-on-one, you can go to my website, odessamall.com. All of my services and booking information are available there. I do tarot card readings, spiritual coaching, I do Reiki, as well as past life readings and channeled messages from your spirit guides. So have a wonderful day, guys. I am so impressed by this, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Take care.